hundreds of EPA employees are no more under Trump. Times and ProPublica reported that the departures were buyouts, retirements, and individuals quitting, but totaled more than 700 employees, including more than 200 scientists. Have disappeared from the EPA. Despite the decrease in science posts, there has been an uptick in political appointees at the EPA. According to Friday's report, 73 jobs have been filled in the office of EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt to replace 53 openings. There's been a hiring freeze at the EPA. One person, one of the EPA workers union representatives, says that there was a hiring freeze and the Trump administration seeks to get rid of 3,100 full-time employees, and the budget hints at upwards of 4,000. So of course the EPA is under attack, in addition to Scott Pruitt being in charge of it, who was suing the EPA when he took the post. But Trump is still building walls to combat climate change. That seems to be the only place he's taking a stand against climate change. He's building 2 walls. One wall will be 2,000 feet long, while the other will be 840 feet long, the Times said. The barriers will be made out of limestone rock and placed in front of holes 1, 9, and 18 at his golf course in Ireland. The Irish Independent reported there will be 38,000 tons. And so he's taking apart the EPA, however, which seems to imply that he does not believe in climate change. However, his permit application to get the walls in 2016, he cited rising sea levels and extreme weather as its reason to build the wall. So,
my favorite part of that story is we just earlier in the week told you that the Trump administration made the Pentagon take out climate change as a threat to our military and to our country. He made them take it out, even though they actually think it is a security threat. And they've been saying it all along. But when it serves his purposes, he puts it in a permit to build the walls in Ireland. Oh my God, climate change. Did you guys know about rising sea levels? Nobody knew about rising sea levels until now. So I need the walls, and unfortunately they approved it in the case of Ireland, because actually there are rising sea levels. That part is true.
And what's going on at the EPA has more to do with a lot of things that affect the quality of water and air and what's leaching into the water supply from the earth than even climate change. EPA deals with the Superfund sites that have been vastly compromised during the hurricane. Remember in Texas, the Texas hurricane, we found out there are all these Superfund sites. Those are toxified areas that were being inundated with water, so that all that toxic stuff was going everywhere. Well, those are Superfund sites that now a defunded EPA and gutted EPA can't address. So we're talking about real pollutants that are getting into the water supply of Americans. Add to that all the EPA restrictions which are being lifted. I mean, all those restrictions, regulations, as he's called them, that affect clean air and clean water across the board. So what you're seeing played out of the EPA extends beyond climate change. It extends to the air that we breathe and the water that we used to be able to drink.
Yeah, and in terms of the damage that they're doing at the EPA, so 700 employees gone already, as Brett told you. But according to their budget, they're going to actually get rid of 4,000 employees at the EPA. So if you thought, put aside climate change, pollution, the Superfund sites, all those things, the streams in your neighborhoods. Well, there's no more, you like cops, blue lives, these are cops to protect your family from something equally dangerous, which is the poison in the air and the water, et cetera, and they're taking all the cops away. So the robbers are thrilled.
Yeah, and his cherry picking of when, it just proves that Trump is disingenuous, period. When it comes to his interest in preserving his own property, he is saying, I only essentially believe in climate change in the coast around my golf course. That's the only time he thinks that it applies to anything. And then when it comes to the EPA where you live, he's like, oh, it's not a problem. Climate change is not a thing. Don't worry about it. It'll be totally fine. Which it just proves that he only uses these arguments when they literally benefit him personally.
Look, this is a guy who doesn't know climate change from he is regurgitating that which he knows is the party position on climate change, and that which. But the the assault on the environment that he is unleashing, and the EPA and the gutting of it is just one part of it. The other part is allowing all of his corporate pals to do whatever the F they want in terms of polluting those streams, in terms of fracking and mineral exploitation on U.S. parklands. I mean, what you're seeing is a selling out of this country and an assault on the environment on an unprecedented scale. And I think the EPA is the tip of that iceberg.
Yeah. But to be fair to him, he loves walls. He does, and he knows how big the ocean is. If you remember, during the Puerto Rico disaster, he said, Puerto Rico is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. So maybe he realized, oh my God, Ireland also surrounded by big water, ocean water, and you know what? The ocean is sending a lot of trouble to Ireland, sending some of its worst. Some of it, some I'm sure is good ocean water.
Good.
Okay, but they need a wall. Ireland needs a wall to keep out the dangerous ocean, big ocean water. I'm just trying to be fair to him.
Yeah.
He's been consistent on that. If you want to get the whole Young Turks show every single day, become a member. tytnetwork.com/join. And once you do, you'll be saying,
I'm like a smart person.
Or you might say,
I think it's weird.
Or you might say,
oops.
No, that won't be that one. It won't be that one. It'll be great, trust me. tytnetwork.com/join.